Hello, everyone. Nice to be with you. My name is Jenny. So, we're going to talk a bit about the astrology that we've been going through this week. All of the energy bodies up there that shine down on us and share their vibrations with us. That is what sets the energy or the tone of the bigger picture. So, we've got Mars and Saturn coming together. That happens about every 2 years. So the last time that happened was March 31st of 2020. And Mars and Saturn, they're a bit at odds. I mean, in ancient teachings, they were the malefics and mortal enemies. But it's really, that vibration of Mars that's like the inner child that wants to go, 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 wants things to happen their way. And Saturn, the grandfather or the adult, is saying, no, wait, be patient, slowly. He is saying, Metatron is saying, slowly build your dream or your dream castle, because they are the dream builders. Mars is exalted in Saturn's sign of Capricorn because that's when we have, taken our own inner fire, our passion, and our desires, and we've built them into fruition, and become the authority on a subject or the top of our fields. Everyone has a talent, a skill, an ability that is unique and special to them that they're great at. And this is where, you leave a legacy, Capricorn, Saturn, and you make your mark. So that could be like as a parent, could be anything really, or any occupation. So that Mars Saturn, when Mars comes up against Saturn, it can feel very frustrating, and we can feel really demanding. So that is passing now. So this is Wednesday, the 6th of April. I'm sure the video will go up this evening, but we're coming out of that. It's always good, like especially for those of you in the Metatron, the Expression of God course, to just keep a written record of like when triggers surface, because when you're in a course like this where you're asking to be shown, to become more enlightened, to get in tune with your soul, those things are going to come up. Or he's saying erupt, as the case may be, is what he's saying. So it's good to keep a running, journal, just to be in touch with yourself, and kind of putting things down on paper makes it more real. I would encourage all of you in the course to, if you're looking for the healing meditations that he has not put out yet, to go back and listen to the recording. Several of you have contacted me and told me that you've gone back and listened and found out more. So that's always great to hear. And I'm doing these group healings and meetings so that everybody, has a chance to interact with Metatron. And it's, a lot of people are not budgeting for individual healing sessions. And this is a year that people are looking for, answers. Like Neptune's in the last decan of Pisces, and things can seem really confusing, or we just sort of feel lost. He's saying fish out of water, or out of our depth. With this energy, that's just normal. That's just the way it is, and that always is just so that we can learn to trust. And it's really about trusting and believing in ourselves, and believing that there is a soul and that you're a part of the creator, that all that is believes in our dreams, our hopes, and our wishes, and is helping us to bring those to fruition. So we're going to do a manifesting ceremony the day that Neptune and Jupiter come together. You can sign up on the website. It's 2222. So we have 8. The number of infinity, because Jupiter and Neptune together in Pisces. And then also remember that Venus just moved into Pisces. That's where she's exalted. Venus represents resources, and then Neptune and Jupiter together, that's opportunities, unlimited potential for opportunities and blessings and gains. It will be a lot of harvesting where, there is the universal law of balance where you exchange energy or you give to others, and maybe that was never reciprocated. This is a time when those things will come back. Now, if we're holding a grudge about how much we gave and we're not reciprocated, then chances are there may be a holdup in that. But if we can just accept that everything is always the way that it's meant to be, and that even when things don't go our way, when like that Saturn Mars conjunction, that it is working out for the best, for our best, and for the best of those, all the others involved in the situation. It's just that 6 degrees of separation where it could be a timing issue, or maybe somebody else needs to come on board. So I know like practicing patience right now is a little bit tricky, but today and tomorrow we'll have the moon in Gemini. That's always happy-go-lucky moon, where we're curious and we want to know more about a subject. So good time to get interested in a book. But especially with Neptune going through Pisces, we've got a few years left of that. This is really about us going within and getting to know ourselves. I noticed that in tarot readings, there's tower cards. The last time that every sign was getting tower cards is when, the pandemic was coming in. So we'll see what that's about. But yeah, I found it interesting because Mars and Saturn came together on the moon of Ukraine. And, the moon always brings light to the darkness. And that's when those images came out proving, abuse of power, Mars conjunct Saturn, against the collective or a society. So Mars and Saturn together in Aquarius was right on the moon. And so, of course, those images came out at that time. Also important to ask the Creator, ask the angels to send love and to just be in a place of peace and within ourselves, and not getting too wrapped up. It just doesn't benefit those people who are suffering for us to suffer as well. If we can remember to do something to lighten our load, he's saying, or to expand our light, bring joy into the situations that we encounter through the day, that really is beneficial to them as well. So it isn't a selfish thing to do, to look to your own, he's saying, posterity, and taking care of yourself. And Ceres right now is in Gemini, the moon again in Gemini today, and that's really about telling yourself a nurturing story. We have the eclipses happening this month. There'll be 2 new moons. One was on the 1st, and the next will be on the 30th. So it will be a blue moon and an eclipse. On the 30th, we have that big full moon coming on the 16th of April. I just wonder, I haven't gotten a message about what these tower cards are about, but he does in the reading that I did that I'm going to share with you guys. He brought that up today as well. And I talked about that full moon, that the sun is with Eris, the goddess of discord, who brings balance through some maybe not so nice experiences, but the balance gets there. And that was where the sun will be with her, and the moon will be at Algol, and it's right on the ascendant as well. So I talked about that in the last video, and they're square Pluto. So the moon and the sun are square to Pluto. Or sorry, trine, and I better stop talking because I don't have a chart in front of me, so just forget that. Okay, so I pulled cards. Metatron just wanted to share some words of encouragement today, and he asked me to keep it light because, this Mars, Saturn, it's good that this is coming before the Neptune, Jupiter conjunction to kind of get it out of the way. But remember that in this vibration that we're in, whatever we're focusing on can instantly manifest. It is going to manifest. It's just a matter of when, because our intention and where we put our focus is where a lot of energy is going, almost like vortex kind of energy out there right now. And that's going to keep going for a few years. I wanted to clarify too that somebody had asked this in the comments. I spoke about the situation in Ukraine and I said we've got about 15 more years. I think I'm going to say the situation with Putin. Um, because, for about 6 years, he's really been, for a couple of years before that, but really the last 6 years, he's been very focused on information and putting out, his story and getting it into the mainstream. Like the most popular cable news um, personality that we in the United States is being shown on Russian television as propaganda. And so, be careful, like what you're listening to. Who does the message benefit? That's always something to keep in mind. I know most of you know that. But yeah, it's just wild to me that he's the most popular and he's being played in Russia too as propaganda. So the first card that we have today is Wind. And this deck is the Mystical Shaman Oracle by Alberto Vialdo. I'm terrible with his name. Colette Baron Reed and Marcella Lobos. And I'm just going to read what Metatron would like me to read. There's more to this card, but I'm going to read what he's asked me to read. When the spirit of the wind comes calling, it's a sign of change. Perhaps you need to change your mind about something. Perhaps an old way of doing things has become automatic, and now that you've gained greater clarity, you can make a new choice. Regardless of what the change is, you can expect to be understood and to have clear communications with others at this time. Ideas are solid, and the shift that is being called for is in the highest good of all. We've got a Mercury retrograde coming up next month. Mercury will be in his own sign of Gemini when he moves back into Taurus, but a lot of people could be changing their minds or just coming up with new ideas. I like it when Mercury goes retrograde in air. Better than like the last couple of years we've had him retrograde in water, and so that was a lot of emotional stuff. So this will be easier. The last one that we had, I believe, was January, and it just was. I thought it was much easier than the ones in the past years. And then the second card is Vision Quest. Spirit has been trying to contact you but received no answer. You are too busy with your life and there is too much noise inside your head. Do not miss the call again. Make room for quiet time this evening. Allow yourself to become bored for a little while and you'll be able to hear the important message trying to get through. In the Vision Quest, you face your fear, embrace your mortality, and then meet face to face with spirit. When we feel stagnant, a Vision Quest brings our lives into perspective. We realize our flaws, our potential, and the opportunities life is now offering us. We remain on a Vision Quest until we find the key to open a new door or write a new chapter in our lives. And I think that also goes along truly with that Mercury retrograde energy. He'll be in shadow shortly. Oh, I didn't check that actually. He may be in shadow right now. And at any rate, it applies, for now and moving forward. The actual retrograde is 21 days, but he does go into shadow, obviously, before that. And then there's a period after. So really just be open to, he's saying new ideas, new portals. He's calling it portals of ingenuity. The Heart of Sky. You may feel responsible for everything and everyone. Perhaps you think you have to do it all alone. This takes you into a dark hole where you lose trust in the natural order of the cosmos. Shed your lofty sense of duty and recognize that this is a false prison of your own making. You can open the door and set yourself free in an instant. So everything that all of the placements, and that can be, also the cusp of a house that fall from, let's say, 18, you could maybe go 17, 18 to 27, in any sign is being aspected by that Mars Saturn connection. And it does like help us to build tenacity, determination, grit, all of that good stuff, but it also alerts us to where we really don't have control, and we need to just surrender and trust for our own sake, so that we aren't constantly playing with the monkey mind, going over and over things that are out of our domain, out of our sphere of influence, and give that to spirit to handle for us. And then next we have Earth. Do you feel ungrounded or easily thrown off your path lately? It is time to focus on what nurtures you, to open yourself to the healing of Mother Earth and the abundant world around you. Perhaps you have lost the ability to trust that your needs will be met and have fallen prey to poverty consciousness. Perhaps you have not been eating well. You've been overwhelmed and stressed and forgotten to breathe in the beauty of your surroundings. When the spirit of Earth comes as your medicine, you're being reminded that when you practice self-care, take a walk in nature, and focus on the consciousness of abundance, miracles can and do happen. And of course, all of that is subject to timing too, right? So, and Saturn is the timekeeper. And with Mars meeting Saturn, and Saturn in his traditional rulership of Aquarius, he's a strong force right now too. So obviously patience is required, not Mars' favorite thing. And then Venus, now that she's gotten out of Aquarius, because she was kind of wedged between Mars and Saturn, now that she has broken out of that, people should start to feel more of that energy of abundance. I also I can't remember if I mentioned that I did a transit special for 2022, and if you have not had an initial session with me, you can sign up for healing sessions now, because he asked me to make those available, and so I've changed that on the website. I can't remember because I started the video after starting it the first time. I'm not sure if I mentioned, but he just brought that to my mind again. And then, of course, Pluto in the last degrees of Capricorn, the lower world. It is time to unearth your hidden treasures. Do not make yourself small in order for others to like or accept you. Bring out the gems and precious stones that you have kept inside your heart, hidden even from yourself. It's time to honor your past and recast your life as a heroic quest. As you journey into the lower world, you will be offered all the gifts of your ancestors. Their struggles, the way they hurt, the way they loved, and the way they died will become blessings. Are you one of those people who does not like to face the past? Now your past is calling to be acknowledged, to be heard, and to be embraced. The only way to become unstuck is to honor everything that has happened in your life. Reflect on the lessons learned and move on. If you bear witness to your past and learn its lessons, it will stop haunting you. It has no power over you. As you embrace its gifts, you will recover a missing part of your soul. And that is Pluto, because Pluto, again, the subconscious and what we've have stored in the DNA that is, inherited. As King James Council put it, the sins of the father are passed down through the generations. It's the stories that are in our DNA that affect the way that we think, that we are not always cognitive of, but they're still there and they lurk. And all of the unforgiveness and resentment that we've built up because of, crappy happenings in this life as well, they stop us. And so this is a time as Pluto is going through those final degrees of Capricorn this next couple of years, that they're going to come up to be processed, healed, released. And the next card is the Jaguar. Jaguar calls you to explore beyond the walls that confine you, to go outside your normal routine, to push your limits and boundaries. She is delivering an invitation from your own future to investigate the unknown, to venture into the mystery and the dark places you have been reluctant to explore. Toss all caution to the wind. Know that your Jaguar instinct will serve you well. What in your life needs to be released? What have you carried around with you far too long, which is ready to be let go of once and for all? Jaguar medicine is available to heal the fear so that you can allow it to go. It's time to come out of the shadows and end the shadow games that you may have unconsciously agreed to play. Call on Jaguar to unfetter you from toxic relationships, toxic habits, and recover your natural instinct for the right people and situations. So I talked about that, I guess, before I read the card. And then the next card that we have is the Owl. This was the card overlaying the reading. Owl is the master of the night. She can see situations with perfect clarity, move more so that when it is dark and is, sorry, I gotta start again. I don't have my glasses, you guys. She can see situations with perfect clarity, more so when it is dark, and is able to discern truth when others are sightless. She helps you find your light and your lightness in the darkest moments of your life, and to embrace the night as your ally. Owl can bring you messages from the invisible world. She opens your ears so that you may hear the voices of the ancestors, and you may acquire that wisdom and make it your own. Owl guards against self-deception and issues that your motives be pure. Insists that your motives be pure and transparent to all. What is the message that you are not hearing? The situation you are not seeing with clarity? Owl invites you to wait patiently. Bide your time until it is right to act. Then do so decisively with no hesitation or remorse. And I would just ask to spend time with those archetypes when you go to sleep at night. You may, be able to even remember with all of the planets, everything that's happening in Pisces. You may be able to recover those memories. I remember once as I was falling asleep, Athena, I see Athena as the owl, a giant white owl came to the portal at my window, and I went out the window and spent the evening with her. And you just feel better in the morning, even if you don't remember. I didn't remember what had gone on, but you do feel better in the morning. You're being taken care of. So, hang in there. It'll feel better next week when we are, experiencing the Neptune-Jupiter conjunction. And I look forward to seeing all of you there. Can't remember if I mentioned in this video that I'm offering these group healings so that everybody has a chance to participate. And it's also just great. Like, everybody that does it really enjoys just the feeling of camaraderie, coming together. You can feel the angels with us. It's awesome. So anyway, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. And I look forward to talking to you again next week. We'll talk about that full moon that we have coming in Libra. So I went a little bit longer than I wanted to, but I hope it's okay. Everybody has been telling me to keep it like 15 minutes, but it went a little over. Anyway, everyone, I hope this was helpful. So take care. Sending you guys so much love. Bye-bye.